It's not really a review. It's more of just me. We'll call it a showcase. That was some rock and roll from BoneZone Radio. I figured out I can do that voice. Kind of hurts, though. So I'm not going to do it very much. So that was me just looping it live just so I could show you. It's versatile. It does more than just, as everybody likes to do in reviews, vintage synth sounds from the 80s. But this kind of it seems like they had a little more contemporary ideas. They didn't want to just go. I mean, when this came out, the whole 80s nostalgia thing is new or has grown significantly since this keyboard has came out. So as you can hear in here, there's some pretty outdated 2000s. This maybe came out in like 2010 or something. I was still in high school, so you've still got some sounds on here like, something like something very 2010s like some club hits like that. I don't know how accurate, how time period appropriate that was, but that's just a quick example. Some of these presets are probably even like really, or really outdated. However, I'll tell you what. The real reason I got this keyboard is because just comparing sounds, I knew they were all going to be good. There was a Roland Juno. That's similar. This is actually cheaper at the time that I bought it a couple years ago. I was like, oh, all the sounds sound good. Kind of came down to two things. And probably the biggest one was this for me. I'm a very good piano player. The piano sound. I thought the piano sound on this, just straight up, you plug it in, first piano sound, you get a friggin', something like that. It's a beautiful piano sound, even if you just wanted to throw down a bass line. Turn down the reverb a little bit. Maybe you want a little bit of chorus. These knobs over here are cool too, just really quick. Quick chorus, that's a bit extreme. Really good sounds like that. Good stuff right there. And so the piano, I was comparing pianos at the Guitar Center and just beautiful concert grain piano sound. Can't complain. No complaints there. The other thing was just I haven't ever really thought about it before, but I immediately heard it in the store, and it's like you go to the drum kits here. This is something on my old Yamaha PSR piano. It had pretty good drum sounds, but it couldn't do this, Whoa, wrong octave. I'm practicing finger drumming, but sounds realistic, right? You know what I mean? It's got a nice realistic sound. You don't get this on a lot of other keyboards in this price range. So you hear the snare drum. That's a hard hit. It's very realistic sounding. It's, you know, if you hit a real snare drum light, it's going to sound like that. You hit it heavy, it's going to sound like that. So I think that's called round robins. I'm not entirely 100% sure. But same thing with a lot of the other sounds. Hi-hat, it's going to change with velocity. And that's something I really wanted, especially for looping. So when I make a looper track, you know, with no velocity, it can just sound like, I mean, I'm going to try to emulate it here. It can just sound like. Not a great example because it actually had some velocity. It's very sensitive, but you want it to sound like. Sounds a lot more realistic than just old plain Jane no velocity sensitivity. I mean, there could be velocity sensitivity in a lot of cheaper pianos. Actually, there usually is, but it's not going to change the actual sound. It's just going to be like a quiet bass drum hit and a loud bass drum hit, and it's going to be a quiet snare and a loud snare. This is like realistic. You know, you hit hard. There's all kinds of kits in here. Not all of them have that difference. For example, when you want like a 909 kit, you know, you don't really want that. You don't want the sound to change. It's not, well, I mean, the you know, the old digital or analog drum machines, they weren't like that. They were more electronic sounding. So that's kind of what you get with those. So that's kind of just bare bones the reason I bought it. It's really plug and play. Some other reasons that I bought it is like just the size. It's super lightweight. A lot of the keyboards, especially in this price range, have these big, massive speakers that I just don't need. I have my piano amplifier right over here, and I don't need the speakers here. They usually sound okay, but like, you know, I'm trying to record music, I'm looping, I need it to plug into everything, which you could still do with those others, but it's just, you know, save the size, you know, save the space, you know, in the price too. You know, not having speakers is going to bring the price down. Another big plus here, you get the two mod wheels. You get a mod wheel and a pitch bender. You get a mod wheel, which can add modification. Here's an electric piano. No mod. Mod. A little bit of vibrato on there. You can customize that too, and you can get gives it a nice realistic tone, especially on the organs, for goodness sake. I mean, you get the organs are beautiful on this keyboard. Put a little bit of mod in there. And it realistically, like some of the realistic effects on here are kind of slow. Like when you turn it up all the way, it takes a second. Like a realistic rotary thingy in an organ. And then you got the pitch bend, which you can do a lot of fun stuff. I like to use, I find it really helpful on like bass sounds. Gives it a nice realistic feel there. You can use it on synth sounds are pretty cool. Let me maybe get out of the blues scale. A little bit of mod on there. So the two wheels are extremely helpful because usually you either get a pitch bend or you get a mod wheel, one or the other. This has both. Very cool. So yeah, simplicity was the key here. Now we can go into, I could talk about sounds all day long. Ever since I was a kid, I loved playing with the sounds on these synthesizer keyboards. They just always fascinated me. You can have a lot of fun with them. This one has like over 1,000 sounds. It's a lot of sounds. And you've got everything from piano. I mean, let's just go through the categories here. Piano, keyboard, organ, guitar, bass, strings, brass, sax woodwind, synth lead, pad choir, syn comp, not sure what that means, chromatic percussion, drum percussion, sound, EFX, musical EFX, and ethnic. So you've just got everything that you could possibly want on this keyboard, and they all sound really good. I made the mistake last time I tried to make this video. I tried to go through some keyboard sounds. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to pick one from each. So let's listen to one from each. I do this, okay, clap, synchronize. I do this every time. I've tried to make this video like 3 times. I get into the sounds and I start messing with them. Then I like run out of memory because it takes me so long. So I'm just gonna plow through these sounds. I'm gonna take clips. I'm just going to show you every sound really quick, then going to wrap up the video. And then if you guys like this video, if this video gets views, I will do I'll just do a sounds video because there is just so many sounds on here. Every time I try to make this video, I just get into the sounds. So anyways, we're just going to do, we're just gonna plow through every single sound and then gonna just talk a little bit about it, and then we'll wrap things up. So here we go. We're gonna go through the categories. It's gonna be quick. So concert grand. Keyboard. Beautiful. Organ, my favorite sound. Maybe F would be a better key for that. Very nice. Guitar. Gonna do a realistic one and then a fakey sounding one. One of my personal favorites, guitar number 1. bass. We got some, let's do 2 here. Strings. There's some realistic strings in here. There's some big strings in here. There's some really cool synth strings. Beautiful. All right. One of my personal favorites I actually discovered hiding in here. It's a really awesome sounding string. You need a little bit of reverb on it. If I can find the gosh dang thing. Spizzicato. Yes, spizzicato strings, of course. Whoops. Beautiful. I thought that one sounded awesome. Brass. So during the time period this keyboard came out, realistic sounds were like, they were getting there, but they just weren't quite there yet. Yeah, that one sounds not very good. Sounds okay. There's some really cool... Oh, these are really cool. The synth ones. Some synth ones. Does sound pretty cool. Saxophones. I found some cool ones in here. Sweet flute. That's always the best. You were trying to be too many zoos. All right, halfway there. Like I said, I'm going through just a few sounds per category. This is kind of dates the keyboard. I just activated the drum sounds on my looper pedal. Yeah, there's all kinds of lead sounds. Pretty cool. Pad/choirs. Really awesome pads in here. Just a massive array of sounds in here. Definitely not enough time to go through all of them, but one of my favorite, the choirs are also in here for some reason. I guess that kind of makes sense. Kind of fun to do like a layer sound, but some choir sounds. Syn comp. I think that means like comping, you know, like they're singing. So, like, as far as time period goes, these sounds are like more trendy now than they were back then. So they're kind of in like, oh, you wouldn't want to like actually play that. You would want to like comp. But like now these sounds are more trendy, but they're, you know. Anyways, that's my point. All kinds of sounds in there. Chromatic percussion. I don't mess with those too much. Drum percussion. Oh, these are just drums. So this is my favorite category. My favorite kit that I use the most is just this, you know, this standard. A lot of cool sounds. Really good crashes. Tambourine. Cowbells. The typical. Those sounds. Just a really good drum kit. But I mostly, you know. Stuff like that. Sound effects. I don't mess with these very much, but they are very cool. Oh, that's a horrible one. That's weird. Again, sounds I haven't even heard before. Musical effects. So these are more like, you know, tonal, I guess. Or not. Let me find it. I never mess with these. Okay, trying to find a useful one. There we go. Alright, gonna skip over that. And then ethnic. These are very interesting. So that's all the sound categories. My personal favorite sound, actually the one I just use the most, is literally just this percussion. And I actually have one of them set up on here as like a double drum, so I can do some crazy. Yeah. So I can do stuff like that. I've been practicing. I'm not very good yet, but I will be one day. You just wait and see. All right, so those are the sounds. That's a basic rundown of the sounds. So where else should I go? So there's all kinds of basic things. You know, you can do some layering. So you want concert grand with I don't know, strings. No, that's too basic and hacky. Let's do concert grand and guitar. Cool. You can also do split, which I don't really mess with, but you can do like bass down here and like piano up here. I never mess with that. So just some quick cons on this keyboard. Well, there's the octave thing that I talked about. That can get a little bit annoying. Then there's so as far as the sounds go, I get a lot of different volumes. So let's just go. So this is just like regular volume. Piano comes out like that, you know. Pretty decent volume. And then you go down to synth lead and you got freaking. That's pretty, you know, quite a bit louder. And then you go down to, you get a keyboard and it's like. And you're down to like no volume, and then you know it's kind of all over the place. That's a little bit annoying, but I mean when you're doing presets. So here's the other thing. I was really hoping when I got this, it like these little buttons over here that you can't see. I'm gonna turn the camera down. These buttons right here. I was really hoping you'd be able to like have, okay, I want a rock and roll set. So I'm going to set this one as, you know, rock drums. This one is bass. This one is electric guitar, which you can do, but I was hoping you could do all of them. I'm like, that would be really cool. Then I could just have one set for looping. I wouldn't even have to change it. The problem is once you get past, so if you press this, you've got preset. So like here's rock kit, and then once you get to the fourth one, you start to lose some effects. So let's do like, I think an electric guitar would be a good example. All right, so you got guitar number 1. Sounds pretty cool. Let's go to number 4. I still want that guitar. Literally, I'm dealing with it right now. It's a lot of menu diving. I mean, the display is tiny. I mean, it's, you know, that's what you're paying for. You know, they're cutting a lot of corners to give you a better deal. Okay, perfect example. All right, yeah, I'm glad I chose that one because I wasn't really 100% sure. So you got 4. So you got 3. Guitar number 1. Now, if you were to save that in set number 4, it sounds like this. Like, it's just a weird thing. It loses effects once it gets to 4. So basically the rest of them are almost unusable because when I pick a sound that I like, it usually has a cool effect on it. Certain things might sound better. Like there's supposed to be flanger on that. There's kind of some flanger, but I mean, you get my point. Some of the effects don't come out, rendering that useless. So, but you can put 3. So if you wanted to do like a drum kit, maybe a bass, and then a primary instrument, yeah, you could do that. But what I usually do is I just kind of scroll through. You can scroll through. There's a bunch of performance numbers. It's just annoying a little bit because, you know, if I'm like I have my drums here, and if I want to get to if I want to get to like a brass sound, I have to go down by like 10 bars. So if I'm, you know, looping something, whoops, off. So if I'm looping, wow, there's the octave thing again. It's hard to tell what octave you're on. Like when you're looping, you don't want dead space, but this is currently how long it's taking. And so then you can get in. That's a beautiful sound. But you get my point. It takes a little bit of time to get there. So that's some cons. Other than that, all the sounds are great. I just wish there was a little bit, it was easier to get to sounds. The alternative thing is if you really remember where the sounds are, you could just stay in the first program, say, this would take forever. Oh, I'm going to go to my favorite bass sound. You could click bass. I know that my favorite bass sound is number 28. And then... and then you're fine, And if you're doing a concert, you might... it would just be nice to be like, all right, I need to get to my organ sound. Bloop, bloop, I'm there. But that's not how it works. So those are really the primary cons I have. Again, when you splurge, you could spend $1,000 more and get a nice screen, nice organization, touch screen. But with this budget, this is as good as it's going to get. And as far as 2022, there's nothing else like this. There's really not. I was looking up the Roland Phantom, and yeah, that's a thing. But it's like $1,600. It's way more expensive. I think you can still get this. So if for whatever reason you see this video and this is what you're interested in, go ahead and get it. It's great for looping. So that's basically it, everybody. I just wanted to show off this keyboard and tell you what my thoughts were about it. If you want to hear a sound video, then I can do that. But this video has to get enough views for me to make that possible. So anyways... I like to clap. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you all again in the BoneZone. Be sure to check out my BoneZone live show on BoneZone, my BoneZone music channel. I loop this, and I play trombone. It's a lot of fun. I will see you all again in the BoneZone.